From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, hon.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Happy Monday morning to you all. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a great weekend. Lots of great events going on this weekend. A bit on the warm side. It seemed like summer was kind of trying to get that last grip on us before kind of the fall and the winter season come in. But the good news is, and the good news I think for some, I think for many of you, is that we're going to see that summer heat go away today. But along with that cooler air, we've got some rain in the forecast as well. So let's get you right into it. Here are the headlines. It's going to be cooler and wet to start the work week, as I mentioned. Now, we're going to see that again here for tomorrow as well. But by Wednesday, we'll see a bit of a break. And it looks like many of us will see a break for a while from the wet weather. A lot of inconsistency in the overall chances for rain this upcoming weekend and even as early as Friday, but the chances are there nonetheless, which we'll talk about in more detail here in a second. So here you can see the approaching rain coming in this morning here, coming in from the west. So the coast will eventually get hit first with the heaviest amounts of rainfall, and then of course everyone else getting in on that rain later in the morning. So here's we got the main area of low pressure right here. Here's the cold front passing through, and then another storm system. So you can see there's some cooler air coming behind this cold front. So once this cold front passes through, temperatures start to drop. And that is also unstable air. So that's going to keep the chances for showers in there as well. And then here's Tuesday's system. And this looks pretty far away, but it will be here again by tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at Futurecast, walk you through the timing of this morning. Here you can see about 5 a.m., the bulk of the rain still just off to the west here. Now we're going to take you through time. We're going to go to about 7 a.m. this morning. Here you can see that cold front. You see how it's kind of right there on the coast. This is when I expect to see some of the heaviest rainfall for the coast. We could be looking at some gusty winds in there, and it's not out of the question for a few lightning strikes as well. Now notice in advance of that, there may be some light showers in Trinity County, western Siskiyou County. And don't be surprised if you run into a light sprinkle for parts of the valley as well. But at this point, still fairly dry in the valley, not very wet at least. And then of course, not very wet east of that as well. Okay, now we're going to take you through the morning hours. Here's 9 a.m. All right, so you're driving the kids off to school this morning. Not a bad idea to make sure they've got something a little bit warmer than they've been wearing over the last week or so, because it is going to be cooler outside. Temperatures only in the upper 60s to low 70s in the valley, and of course cooler than that in the mountains. You also want to make sure that something that can maybe keep them dry, because it will be a little wet out there at 9 o'clock this morning. Now, the cold front passing through Trinity County and central Siskiyou County. So notice that the intensity of the rain, yeah, there's a little bit of areas that could see some moderate to heavy rainfall, but the intensity of the rain is breaking apart, and that's because the cold front itself is breaking apart as well. So as we take you into the noon hour today, we are going to see some brief periods of moderate to heavy rainfall even in the valley with, again, maybe a stray thunderstorm. But you'll notice it's not as organized and not as much rainfall. Now behind it, we have the cool and unstable air, so still scattered showers behind the cold front for Trinity County, Del Norte, Humboldt counties, and not to mention Siskiyou. And we're still only just seeing some light showers here and there for the eastern mountains by the noon hour today. Okay, now we're going to take you to about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can see now the cold front, which is much, much weaker, is passing through the eastern mountains. And again, there could be a stray, heavier shower for parts of the eastern mountains. But even the scattered showers are starting to break apart behind that cold front. So as you can see here, we take it about 7 p.m. today. Things are starting to dry out. Should be dry as we go into Monday night. However, here's the next round of rain. I was talking about that next storm system. Now this one, not as strong for everyone. We do still have some decent rain coming into Crescent City at 6 a.m. on Tuesday. 10 a.m. tomorrow, we're beginning to see that heavier rainfall begin to kind of push through Modoc County, Siskiyou County. So some of the areas that are seeing the rain later in the day are going to see it earlier in the day for your Tuesday. Now, we're just seeing some light showers for the valley here, and not to mention parts of Del Norte and Humboldt counties. Now, you can see kind of a weaker, kind of a disturbance kind of passing through. This is noon on Tuesday. Again, we're not seeing just kind of the widespread rain out there. We're not seeing as organized of a system coming through on Tuesday, but still some scattered showers out there even through 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Now, Tuesday night, there's still going to be some lingering showers for some of the higher elevations. This is Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. We'll call it Tuesday night though, right, for all intents and purposes. But we can see some of the higher elevations also starting to get in some of that snow with that even cooler pocket of air beginning to move in on Wednesday. All right, so here's Wednesday at noon. You see how it dries out, even clears out as well. Just some clouds and dry conditions for the mountains. So how much rain can we expect? Well, this is just to give you a general idea. And again, the bottom line is heaviest rainfall on the coast. Head eastward, you start seeing less. So yeah, upwards of a half an inch to a little over an inch for parts of Del Norte, Humboldt counties. Trinity County, approximately half of an inch. And then you get much less than that as you start heading eastward into the valley, and not to mention into the eastern mountains. Now the long range, this is where things get a little tricky, because this particular forecast model that we're looking at here has maybe a chance for some showers on Friday for the coast. But that is it. All right, let me take you into Saturday. Now, Saturday morning, I'm stopping it at 9 a.m. because this is right around the time that the solar eclipse you may have been hearing about will be occurring. Now, for most of us in this area here, it'll be 80 to 85% solar eclipse. However, as you head up into Alturas northward, there'll be what's called a ring of fire around the sun. So it won't be a complete and total eclipse, and you'll have that ring of fire around the sun. But bottom line is, in order to see it, you have to have clear skies. So as we look at Saturday morning, it looks like we've got the overcast skies here. So we're going to have to watch that. See, that may impede our viewing of the eclipse, unfortunately. But as you can see, there's no rain here. Now, here's one thing I'd like to mention. If we were looking at the European forecast model, you would have rain here on Saturday, and not to mention on Sunday and Monday of next week as well. But this particular forecast model, the GFS, the American forecast model, right? All the rain is being pushed up to our north, and we look to be fairly dry. So we'll have to kind of keep a close eye on the forecast for you as we approach the weekend. But as it stands right now, this particular forecast model doesn't want to bring a lot of rain. Okay, so here's what we got going, but again, that's a long ways from now. Let's get through today and tomorrow. Of course, we know we got the rain coming in today and tomorrow. All right, so here are your wave heights. And what you're noticing is that those wave heights are starting to increase today. They'll increase even more for your Tuesday. For anyone who needs to be out on a boat, be aware of that it's not going to be the safest of conditions out there. But we do have the showers out there, even for your marine forecast. South winds at about 10 to 20 knots. Your forecast for today, much, much cooler. You know, we saw highs well into the 90s late last week, this weekend. I mean, you're talking about a 20 to 30 degree drop in some areas, especially in the valley here, and really not much of a spread across the board here. Generally in the 60s. Now, I think in the valley, I might be underplaying some of these temperatures in the valley, maybe some low 70s in there, but you get the idea. It is just going to be a lot cooler out there, but not to mention wetter as well. So here's your 7-day outlook. There's the rain. Now, again, I've got kind of the scattered showers, not as much rainfall as expected on Tuesday. For now, what I've done for Siskiyou, Modoc, Eastern Mountains, I've kept it dry even through the weekend. But just know that as we go into the weekend, I may be kind of changing that up a bit. Same situation for the valley. Showers heaviest today, not as much rain on Tuesday, but still chances for showers, and then dry all the way through the weekend. That's what I've got for now. We'll keep a close eye on that forecast, though, as we go into the weekend, because that could change as far as chances for rain are concerned. Now, what I've done here for the coast is I've kept the chance for showers over the weekend because it looks like at least it'll be kind of pushing through at the coast. Now, for the inland and Weaverville, also that chance on Saturday, but I've dried you out on Sunday. Bottom line is there's still a lot of inconsistencies for this weekend's forecast, and we're going to have to keep you basically informed with all the latest forecast model data coming in, and hopefully they start coming into alignment here soon. But in the meantime, starting off your work week with cooler conditions, and not to mention wetter conditions as well.